So, what's a single tooth really worth? Turns out, when you're talking about dental implants, it can be the key to a multi-million-dollar business. Today, we're going to break down the surprisingly complex and, yeah, incredibly lucrative world of the dental implant industry. Okay, let's get into it.
First things first, let's just talk about the sheer scale here. The market for dental implants isn't just big, it's been growing like clockwork, a solid 6% every single year for over a decade. I mean, we're talking about millions of implants and a market that just keeps getting bigger. It's honestly one of the hottest sectors in all of healthcare.
So you gotta ask, right? In an industry that has this much wind in its sails, what's the secret sauce? What separates a decent practice from a truly great one? Is it all just slick marketing? Is it about location? Or is it something more scientific? Well, that's exactly what we're here to figure out.
To really find that formula, we've got to start with how success is even measured. And it all boils down to a few critical numbers, what the people in the business call KPIs, or key performance indicators. So our first really big metric is something called revenue per operatory. Now, don't just picture a dental chair. I want you to think of it as a tiny economic engine, because on average, a single one of these chairs cranks out almost $250,000 in revenue every year. It's the absolute fundamental building block of a dental business. Okay, so to wrap our heads around how big this business can get, we need a baseline, a starting point. And for that, we're going to look at the very foundation of American dentistry, the solo practitioner.
Yep, this is the classic dentist's office you probably picture in your head. One doctor, maybe 3 or 4 chairs, and a small, dedicated team. They're doing pretty well, bringing in between $650,000 and $700,000 a year. And get this isn't some niche model, it's the main one. A whopping 90% of dentists in the US work this way. So where does all that cash go? Well, after you've paid your staff, bought all your supplies, paid the lab fees, and kept the lights on, a healthy, well-run solo practice keeps about 38% as profit. And trust me, that's a really strong margin. It's the number everyone in this game is trying to grow.
But what happens when that solo doctor decides they want to play a bigger game? Let's level up and see how things change when you go from being a solo act to a group or specialty practice.
And you can see the difference pretty much immediately. You add another doctor, maybe 2. You double your number of operatories, and boom, your revenue blows past that $1 million mark, and you're often heading towards $2 million or even more. You start to get what they call economies of scale. You just get more efficient by being bigger.
Okay, so we've gone from solo to group, but believe it or not, there's a whole other level, a final boss, if you will. We're going inside the titans of the industry, the corporate dental networks. These are usually run by what are called dental service organizations, or DSOs, and their job is to handle all the business stuff so the dentists can just focus on being dentists. All right, quick rewind. Remember this number? Around $700,000. That's our successful solo practice benchmark. Got it? Good. Keep that number right in the front of your mind. Now look at this. A single clinic, just one, that's part of the Heartland Dental Network averages $1.8 million. That's more than double our solo doc. And again, this is just one location out of a massive system. But if you think that's a big jump, you might want to sit down for this. Clear Choice, a network that specializes in these high-value implants, brings in over $4 million per center, on average. This isn't just scaling up. This is a completely different business universe. So how on earth do they do it? It's not magic, it's a system. DSOs use their massive scale, more chairs, more doctors, longer hours. They standardize everything with a playbook for every task to make things super efficient. They use their huge purchasing power to get big discounts on supplies. All the boring back office stuff is handled by a central office. And, maybe most importantly, they pour money into training to make sure the whole machine runs perfectly. But you know what's fascinating? Whether you're that solo doc pulling in $700,000 or a corporate giant, the basic principles for high performance are almost identical. So let's distill all of this down into a universal playbook for success. Okay, here are the 6 keys. First, you got to keep those dental chairs full, no downtime. Second, you standardize everything and train your team relentlessly. Third, you have to embrace new tech. Fourth, focus on the high-margin services, like implants. Fifth, you have to become a master of your costs. And finally, number 6, you get really, really good at marketing to bring patients in the door. And then you provide amazing service to keep them coming back. And that point on technology, it is absolutely key for what's coming next. This quote from the source material really just hits the nail on the head.
AI isn't about replacing people. It's about automating all the routine stuff so the highly skilled humans can focus on what really matters, the patient. It's the ultimate tool for working smarter, not harder.
And so, this all leaves us with one huge question. We've seen the power of scale, of systems, of technology. The big question for the future is, can that classic solo practitioner, the very foundation of this whole industry, actually compete in this new high-stakes world? And what will that mean for the future of dental care for all of us?